First up today, putting limits on the amount of time our kids are staring at a screen. We all know that we're supposed to monitor it, but many of us parents also have a nagging feeling that our kids are spending too much time on their phones, their computers, and video games.
It's hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
Liz Repking is the founder and owner of Cyber Safety Consulting, and she's here with more on what doctors say and what parents should be doing now to set those limits on screen time at home. Good to have you here.
Hi, thank you.
We went to high school together.
You did, really?
Yeah, we
That's
played
awesome.
softball together in middle school, I think, or grade school.
That's awesome. And
Yep.
now you're here to tell us some stuff that we need to know.
Thank you for having me back.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
This is fascinating. I think so many people with kids in the house see their kids on the screen and they're freaked out that they're going to mess up their brains.
Correct.
Yes, I like that.
You know?
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what does science say? What is the American the American Academy of Pediatrics? They're the ones doing some research on this.
Yeah, they've done some research. They have recommended, they've given some parameters for what they call digital media for entertainment. So they're first drawing a distinction between digital media that's being used for fun, gaming, Netflix, social media, versus digital media that's being used for academic purposes.
Okay.
Which
That's
is
probably a good distinction.
Yeah.
I mean, so many schools are using tablets, iPads, laptops as part of their full curriculum. So
I'm glad you pointed that out, because even textbooks now so often are online, and kids are using their phones or their tablets to consult their textbook.
right. So we have to start to distinguish why and what are the kids using the media for. So the Academy says that for children 0 to 2 years old, they recommend no digital media.
At all.
At all.
Up to 18 months.
Up to 18 months.
Okay, or yeah, 2, okay.
And then 18 months on to 5 years, they say 1 hour per day. And then what I find interesting is that from 5 years on, which is really where parents are saying, tell me, what's that number?
Yes.
They say it's based on the child and the family dynamic.
I don't like that answer.
Yeah. So
That's
they
hard.
throw it right back on us to figure it out.
I don't like that. And I feel like, is that because there's not enough research yet to back up any real number?
I don't know why that comes, what that comes from, but what I do know is I think in some ways it's good, because parents are looking for, a lot of parents are looking for just that number. Tell me the number, and then I'll impose it. But what they're saying is, no, figure it out, get involved. What are they doing? And what works for that child? So they're actually putting a lot more onus on us as parents, instead of just saying, here's the number, deal with it, to get involved, understand what they're doing.
Yeah, because if they said, let's say 4 hours is okay, anything under 4 hours, it's like to tell your kid, okay, go use your phone for 4 hours is kind of scary. But there are probably a lot of kids using way more than 4 hours in a day. So I don't like the fact that there isn't a hard number, but I get it. And part of it is probably how you see it affecting their life. And are they still interactive? Are they still engaged with friends? Are they still talkative around the dinner table? Stuff like that. Yeah. Right?
And all those examples are things that parents should be modeling. Because when you think about even the age of 2, when we say let them have it for an hour up till they're in their teens, we don't realize that we are their first level of learning. We model everything from the time they're 2. So how we choose to use digital media in a healthy way is going to be the starting point for how they're doing it. So you said, you know, are they using it at the dinner table? Are they having conversation with their friends? The first place to look is, am I using it at the dinner table? Am I having productive conversation with my friends? Or is my conversation with my friends talking to them and then looking at my phone and then talking to them? So we have to model it for step 1.
What if you do model it all correctly and they still just reach for the tablet right away? Because I think it's an easy go-to when children are bored. And I hear that a lot, like, I'm bored, I don't know what to do. And it's like playing with Legos, doing different things like that. You know, you think about that whole, like, when I was your age, that doesn't, I think the imagination level is so much lower with kids in terms of the way we think of it. So how do we get them, what kind of, I guess, what do we do to make sure that it's productive in what they're doing, or maybe that it's helping them learn something?
So you have
to, because they consume media no matter what we do.
They consume media at an alarming rate. They consume it through YouTube and Netflix and all that kind of stuff. But step 1 is understanding where they are at. Before you even figure out how much time, what are they doing online? Where are they spending their time? Is it age appropriate? Is it, there are plenty of apps that do push their creativity. Minecraft. It's an amazing app to watch a 2nd or 3rd grade boy build and create. It's true. But then there's also a lot of apps that aren't. And even within those apps, parents need to understand, what are the dangers? Can other people talk to them that they don't know? So again, it comes back to number one, parents have to be involved. You can't just take the number and say, okay, 4 hours, go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, 4 hours is up. I'm a good parent.
It's about being involved.
It's about being involved and educating them.
Your suggestions are set firm boundaries and be consistent in enforcing them. Number one, know what they're doing online, which I think is probably a two-part. Have the conversation with them, ask them, but also figure out a way to find out what they're looking at. Then let your child have a voice in determining the appropriate amount of time. My guess is they probably think they should have less time online than they probably actually are online. I think kids tend to be harder on themselves sometimes than we would be.
Yeah, no, I think they want more time.
Yeah.
What's interesting about letting them have a voice in that, so if you say, okay, let's set some boundaries as a family, and you bring that 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old into that conversation, two things can happen. Number one is when you give them the voice, you start to understand what's important to them online and why are they online. You know, maybe you say you can't have your phone until you're at home from school, and your 13-year-old daughter says, but I use it in the morning because I want to see what my friends are wearing. So you got to give them a place where they can talk to you about why they want it. And then the other thing that happens is that if you give them a voice in it and you say, okay, this happened in my house. You need to have your phone to me or on the charger by 8:30 at night.
Yeah.
I thought that was fair. And my 13-year-old said, I don't get home from soccer and get settled until 9 o'clock at night. I'd like to check in with my friends.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fair. How about 9:30? So now, every night at 9:30, that phone's there. Because she had a voice and I heard it, she has some accountability.
And you feel that compromise coming together with parents and child.
It doesn't become another thing that we have to fight about. Exactly.
Pick your
We got enough already.
Pick your battles. Cybersafetyconsulting.com is you can learn more about Liz and also all the ways to keep your kids safe online. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Great conversation. Thanks, Liz.